Hey everyone! Welcome to the Quiet Resonance, the channel dedicated to sharing knowledge for personal growth through amazing books. Today, I'm excited to share a discussion titled, The Root Cause of Why You Can't Be Yourself, through the book Our Inner Conflicts, by the renowned American psychologist Karen Horney. She once said, inner conflicts seep into our personality like the spread of a malignant tumor, ultimately destroying us. In recent years, many of us have faced unprecedented psychological pressures. We're exhausted, anxious, troubled. Loneliness has somehow become a silent helplessness. Our hearts are filled with all sorts of contradictions. Before making a choice, big or small, we often hear countless voices in our heads. Sometimes, we think we could have taken a brighter path, but find ourselves teetering on a shaky bridge. Sometimes, we bitterly realize we're drifting away from our true selves, becoming the kind of person we despise. And sometimes, we ask ourselves, why do I have to act so fake? Is life forcing me, or am I idealizing everything? Why do I suppress expressing myself? Why do I hide my true emotions? Why does a breakup hurt so much? Why can I be polite to strangers but lose my cool with loved ones? And why do some people always reject others' kindness? So, what's going on in our inner world? What's controlling or driving our thoughts and actions? There are plenty of people and books teaching us how to overcome suffering and live happily. But we keep circling back to one question: what's the root cause of our unhappiness? Is there an invisible prison holding our souls? Can we overcome it, break free, and live a life that's truly light, peaceful, joyful, and free within? These questions, along with seeing many friends trapped in the darkness of depression, and recently, a young friend I knew choosing to end their life, pushed me to find and share a classic psychological work with all of you. That's Our Inner Conflicts by Karen Horney. I'm certain I've found answers to help face my own inner struggles, and I'm eager to share them with you today, hoping they'll be truly helpful. So, let's dive into today's discussion. First, a bit about the author. Karen Horney was a German-American psychologist and psychiatrist, a pioneer in social psychology. Her achievements have drawn global attention, making her one of the 20th century's most influential psychoanalytic thinkers. The famous psychologist Maslow said Horney was a founder of humanistic psychology, and her theories have made indelible contributions to modern psychology. She wrote extensively, and one of her masterpieces, Our Inner Conflicts, which I'll share today, is a book that helps everyday people find self-help and psychological healing. This book reveals a truth: the world is full of conflicts, and our inner selves are no exception, brimming with contradictions. Depending on our personality traits and needs, we choose different ways to cope. However, instead of truly resolving issues, many of us develop defense strategies that often plunge us deeper into anxiety and pain. In this book, Horney analyzes the struggles different personalities face, offers solutions for these conflicts, and teaches us how to confront inner disorientation to live with a stronger, freer heart. You're troubled because you haven't explored your inner conflicts. Unlike animals, whose actions are driven by instinct, humans can freely choose and decide. It's a privilege but also a burden, as every choice brings competing desires, sometimes completely opposing ones. If you reflect, you'll see your inner world is full of conflicts, and life itself is riddled with them. Instead of making clear choices, we often go with the flow, compromising with ourselves without realizing it. In neurotic disorders, conflicts play a much bigger role than most think, as they're hard to detect, and people go to great lengths to deny their existence. This leads to symptoms like anxiety, fear, and depression. Adler famously argued that all human troubles stem from interpersonal relationships, and Horney agrees. Our inner conflicts arise from our relationships with others. So, what do we do when our troubles come from social relationships? Should we choose to live alone? Not quite. Living alone doesn't mean cutting off all social ties. Those who avoid relationships are often running from difficulties, not facing them. Though conflicts affect us deeply, Horney says not to worry. Conflict is a normal state. You can manage it with scientific approaches, which is exactly why she wrote this book. To uncover your inner conflicts and make clear life decisions, you need to meet 4 conditions. First, be clear about your desires and emotions. For example, when hesitating to start or continue a relationship, ask yourself, do I truly like this person, or am I just enjoying the feeling of being loved or having someone by my side? When aiming to become a teacher, do you genuinely love sharing knowledge, or is it about stable income and social status? Before any choice, ask similar questions to look within and recognize your inner conflicts. As a professor said, life is a series of choices. Choose a few things right, you'll succeed. Choose 3 things wrong in a row, you'll hit bad luck. Life is full of choices, but whether they're right depends on whether your heart truly wants them. Crucially, your inner and outer self must align as a whole. Second, establish your own value system. Inner conflicts often tie to moral values and beliefs. To understand them and make decisions that don't harm yourself, create a value system that's truly yours, not influenced by others. Without this, your beliefs lack a solid foundation and are easily swayed. Imagine someone cheating on their partner. Will they continue or stop when faced with inner conflict? Without a personal value system, they can't define their stance on marriage or family responsibility. They're easily influenced by friends, media, or books, eventually downplaying infidelity as normal. Third, even when you recognize inner conflicts, stay clear-headed and brave enough to choose one path and let go of the other. Conflicts often arise from insecurity and wanting too much. The world rarely offers perfection, so when you can't have it all, only by courageously letting go can you resolve conflicts and gain what truly matters to you. Finally, it's not just about courage to explore and resolve conflicts correctly. You must also accept risks, take responsibility for your choices, and bear the consequences. Don't let yourself fall into regret or torment after choosing. Truly, daring to act and own the outcome is an inner strength many lack. Being aware of and experiencing inner conflicts can feel uncomfortable and painful. But only by facing them and finding solutions can we avoid being swayed by the outside world and truly steer our life's ship. The book notes that normal people and those with neurotic disorders perceive conflicts differently. In my view, even normal people can have neurotic tendencies without realizing it. Horney explains that normal people can recognize their conflicts, but those with neurotic disorders often can't find a way out because they don't see the underlying tendencies causing their conflicts. So, if we're unaware of our issues, we may show neurotic symptoms and make choices against our conscience and goodness. To truly solve the problem, you must uncover the deep-seated inner conflicts. Since we're deeply shaped by our environment and relationships, we often stray from who we want to be. Some conflicts can control our lives. To resolve them, we don't just create idealized images by deceiving ourselves or others. We also develop various defense strategies based on personality tendencies. But these strategies are like avoiding or compensating in a vicious cycle, not addressing the root. They drag us deeper into a worse path. So, let's explore these defense strategies through 3 basic personality types that cause inner conflicts. These defense strategies make you sink deeper into a bad path. Personality tendencies leading to defense mechanisms and inner conflicts are endlessly varied, but Horney groups them into 3 basic types. First, the people-pleasing type. These folks crave praise and affection from others, appearing friendly and approachable. They're highly sensitive to others' needs, quickly empathizing. It's a valuable trait, but they often ignore their true feelings. When others don't reciprocate, they feel sad and troubled. This is a key trait of this type. They also tend to be fragile, dependent, and need others' help, easily blaming themselves based on others' comments. For people pleasers, their greatest need is a partner who can guide them, judge right from wrong, and meet their life expectations, especially the need for security. This need leads to inner conflicts. For example, to keep peace and avoid conflict, they act humbly, always prioritizing harmony. Even when others are wrong, they convince themselves to overlook it and trust them. But this can be a way to suppress their true emotions. To seem friendly, they might ignore or tolerate being used, or even hide their own intentions to use others without being noticed. Second, the oppositional type. These people naturally assume others are against them, believing human nature is inherently bad and life is a struggle. Even if they realize someone isn't bad or wrong, they won't admit their own mistakes. Outwardly, they seem polite, upright, and friendly, but they're masking their defiance. They try to appear calm, fair, and reasonable to gain trust and approval. Sometimes, they do good deeds, but deep down, it's often for self-interest. Their core need is to assess whether others are useful to them, be it money, prestige, or relationships. Before bonding or collaborating, their first thought is, what's in it for me? They want to be warriors, conquering all, craving prestige, power, and social acceptance. They're highly competitive, believing they can't lose, and aim to be the best in their field. In arguments, they go all out to stand out. Unlike people pleasers who take blame, oppositional types always blame others. This creates inner conflicts when they must act friendly or pleasing. They seem proactive and successful, but they're often unhappy, distrusting others and suspecting ulterior motives. They're emotionally distant, living in suspicion. In U.S. culture, outgoing and sociable traits are encouraged, so oppositional types are often favored, while people pleasers may face limitations. Horney believes this isn't a healthy cultural trend. Third, the detached type. These individuals want to distance themselves from others, even from themselves. Wanting alone time is normal, but for them, being around others feels like unbearable pressure. They use solitude to escape the stress and numb their own emotions, unsure of what they like, dislike, believe, fear, or want. Their inner needs are significant. First, they maintain emotional distance, building a protective wall against relationships, romantic, cooperative, or competitive. Any external intrusion sparks fear. Second, they fiercely guard their privacy, cloaking their lives in mystery. They prefer working civilian clothes, working, studying, or relaxing alone, viewing others' concern as an interruption. Their ultimate need is total independence, free from influence, obligation, or pressure. They feel uniquely special, and not being treated as such can spark anger or feelings of being undervalued. They may feel superior, but repeated failures can force them to engage with others, tearing their inner world apart. These personality types have benefits. People pleasers build friendly, harmonious relationships. Detached types find peace by avoiding external noise. But when these tendencies become rigid or extreme, they turn pathological, hindering personal growth and mental health. So, how do we resolve inner conflicts? Horney outlines a basic logic to change the psychological conditions causing conflicts. The first step is self-analysis, as discussed earlier. No matter the issue, analyzing and gaining awareness is crucial. Horney says, we can only hope to master ourselves if we're willing to endure pain. There's nothing enviable about false peace from a deluded mind, it only makes us vulnerable. Consciously experiencing conflicts is invaluable, though painful. The braver you are in facing and resolving them, the freer and stronger you become. Only by confronting pain can it be resolved. Analyze why these conflicts arise. What defense mechanisms have you built? What idealized image are you chasing? What mask do you wear? We have countless days ahead, but life boils down to one thing: being your true self. Philosophers across ages have stressed the importance of this and the despair of failing to do so. As one saying goes, our purpose is nothing but to become our true selves. It's time to remove the mask, look within, and recognize your conflicts. That's step 1. Step 2 is to ignite love within you, not just romantic love, but a broader, positive emotion of genuine care for yourself, others, and life itself. The core of true love is sincerity. When you're honest with yourself, cherish your inner experiences, and treat others genuinely, you shed the disguise, deceiving neither others nor yourself. Sincere love lets your emotions flow naturally, unifying your inner self. Then, conflicts, big or small, become easier to resolve. That's the core summary of the book. One final point: all fears in life stem from unresolved inner conflicts. Who are you? Do you see yourself in these 3 personality types? Look at everyday moments. Do you snap at loved ones but stay kind to strangers? Do you get irrationally angry? Are you afraid of uncertain actions? Are you crafting a friendly image for others? Are you avoiding relationships? Are you striving to be the best? Keep asking yourself these questions. Nietzsche said, "There's only one path in this world. No one can walk it but you. Where it leads, don't ask, just go." I wish us all to become our true selves, face our deepest conflicts, resolve them, and live with true joy, freedom, and sincerity. Thanks for listening. If this video resonates, share it with those who need it, give me a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for my weekly videos. Once again, thank you, and see you in the next one.